why would you continue to watch this crap?
Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead. Podsednik hits one to deep right center field. Back at the wall. This ball is gone. Podsednik goes deep. Freebay charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. To Richard, across the cage, he scores! Here's who's going to look for the third time in 6 years. The Black Hawks are Stanley Cup champions. He will glove it through to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
2nd and 8 from the 9. Jackson to Flowers. He dives. The ball came out. It's recovered by Kansas City. Did the ball come out before he broke the plane? This is a call that could determine the whole game right here.
Snead,
It's out.
who has played at the highest level this entire season, Jim. Snead has defended the other team's.
Yep, he's heading back to the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 5 years. And a chance to become the first team since New England of 2003 and 4 to go back-to-back.
Goff to throw. Here comes pressure. Escapes. Fires over the middle, and it is incomplete. Here's Purdy with a lot of time. Steps into one. Launching deep. Going for Brandon Ayuk. It is. Oh, he caught it off the ricochet. Penalty. Is he in?
Hit him right in the face mask. And then, man, give credit there to Brandon Ayuk just staying with the play.
Here is Gibbs. Up the middle, he runs into a wall. And the ball came out. Ball is loose. Who's got it? 49ers recover.
You take the 3 and still stop the clock.
This is the game. Goff pumps, fires, end zone. It is caught for the touchdown. What a grab by Williams to keep this game alive. Badgley gets into it high and the right. It's loose. Ball is loose. Kittle's going to pick it up, and that'll be that. Kittle stays down to absorb the moment. John Lynch, the general manager. And there it is. The 49ers are going to the Super Bowl.
And welcome to Windy City Sports Talk. I'm your boy, Brandon Combs, along with my guy, Ryan Fitzgibbons. Ryan, man.
I should eat a hot wing after that. The last half of that highlight. Nice highlight reel, by the way. But, kudos to our production staff. But, ooh.
That's me. I'm the production staff.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. And, oh, God. It's like eating the bomb hot wings right there.
Yeah.
Drink them up, Detroit Lions. They never go down smooth. Oh.
I don't understand. Like, look, I know that that's what Dan Campbell is. I know that that's what got him and them to where they were at this point of the season. But you have to, at some point, understand that there's a difference between being gutsy and being dumb. And that, as you would say, my friend, was country dumb.
Country dumb. Yes.
It just doesn't make sense to leave points on the board like that.
Game during the season,
Dallas.
I forgot the Dallas game where they that fake punt that made no sense.
Yeah.
And, the timing matters. You go up 3 scores. You have the chance to go up 3 scores in a championship game. I don't care what quarter it is.
You take it.
You take it.
Yes.
And you fight another day.
Yeah.
The guy's not missing that field goal, that 40-yard field goal. No one misses a 43-yard field goal to lose. And oh no, yeah, actually.
And the one later on, where it's 48 yards away, that one I'm okay with, kind of, right? Like it's a 48-yard kick. It's not a gimme. So that one I'm okay with you being gutsy, as we'll say, or being Dan Gamble and going for it on that one. but the one where you were 28 yards out for a field goal attempt, like you've got to take that one. The other one where, like you said, you would have gone up 3, you've got to take that one. And what they asked George Kittle after the game, and they said, hey, what was the turning point? And he said, when they missed that 4th down, we knew we had a chance.
Well, yeah, you don't give them breathing room. It's like when the Bears ran it 3 times in a row with a hurt Khalil Herbert against the Lions. And then the Lions were like, oh, there's our daylight. And the Lions, score the 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes. The rest is history.
Doubting Thomas is going to need to find a new profile picture.
He's brave for at least keeping the profile picture on and showing his face. What day it is. Is it you guys ruined my brain for a solid minute trying to figure out if I was losing my mind?
What happened yesterday was we were going to do a show, and Fitzy called me, and he forgot to take his Midol, and his vagina was hurting, so we actually couldn't do a show.
Oh my God. I'm playing hurt today, Jeremiah. I'm a little medicated, but I'm playing hurt.
Well,
I my back out somehow. Oh man, for the championship game, it was just throbbing.
You guys, you didn't have Nicole try the Vince McMahon on you, did you? Is that what happened?
You won't believe it. So the Vince McMahon. I'm going upstairs to
took you a minute.
Lay down for a little bit because it's hurting so bad. I couldn't move. So Nicole had to take my pants off. Put my pants on actually because I couldn't lay in bed. I couldn't get up to the bed.
Right.
It's pretty pathetic.
Did you see, speaking of, I know we're going off subject here a little bit. Did you see the Vince McMahon stuff?
I saw some of it, not a lot of it. You're probably catching me off guard, but go ahead.
So this guy had some text messages come out that were released by the woman who is accusing him of, sex trafficking her off to other people, right? So, first of all, look, the sex trafficking and the sexual harassment with Vince McMahon
is fine.
Not shocking. No, just not shocking. Like that's who he is, right?
Yeah. I heard the stuff with his son. He tried to get his son in on it, and his son was like, "No."
What was shocking to me was the text messages that were released, where he is telling this woman, hey, maybe you and John Laurinaitis should try out this other guy, and if he's any good, you guys can bring him my way. Or when he's texting the woman and he says, look, I just want you to see you with 3 black men with 1 in each hole as deep as they can get. Like, those are the things that I'm like, what is going on?
Rich people are weird, man.
And not only that, but she was look, sex trafficking aside and sexual harassment aside, the fact that she didn't get the last $2 million of her $3 million deal is the only reason why we're hearing about this. Let's not make no bones about it. Like, those text messages were going back and forth. She even told him, hey, I just need a couple of days to relax. I'll be fine.
Put this together.
Yes. Like, I'm just saying.
It's weird. Why do they? I don't know how that's fun.
Dude,
do they get this bored?
I'm telling
the guy works. The guy was a workaholic. I mean, that's plain.
There's so much more to it.
Where do you get the time and energy to do this kind of stuff? He's on a lot of testosterone, though. Dave Lawrence, the doctor prescribe you Jameson.
When we get off the show tonight, actually, you know what? Why don't let's run a little test right now. I'm gonna keep talking for a little bit. I want you to go on your phone. And I want you to Google the Vince McMahon text messages, and I want you to start reading them so we can see your reaction to the text messages. Just Google them, open them up, and start reading them. So Dave Lauren wants to know if the doctor prescribed you Jameson. He just so you know, Dave, Ryan does not need to be prescribed Jameson. He is already on a steady dose of it. So there's no prescribing Jameson for Ryan Fitzgibbons.
4 weeks, but yes. Okay. I can read.
If we put a tap in you right now, your blood would get us drunk.
Probably.
There's no probably about it.
See the text message.
So
putting these text messages out there. All right.
Did Fitz hurt his back sending a work email?
Who was that?
Doubting Thomas.
Unbelievable.
What happened was Nicole kind of blew his back out a little bit. Right? That's what happened. That's the story we're gonna go with.
No.
All right.
Maybe. She pile drive me. The Vince
Oh
McMahon.
God.
Okay.
So
and legal battle takes unique turn. Oh,
for everybody out there,
he's not the only one. Blank called me this afternoon begging to eat you and fuck you with his nice and hard dick.
I didn't say to read it out loud.
Give me another.
I didn't say to read it out loud.
Why not? Give me another week, baby, and I'll be ready. I'm feeling more like myself.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to hear about her. Oh, you're victim shaming or any of that stuff, because she was feeding back into it. And the only reason why this is coming forward is because she signed an NDA in which Vince McMahon promised to pay her $3 million, and she says he didn't make a payment after the first $1 million down payment. It's the only reason why this is coming out right now. But it's still pretty freaking disturbing.
It is kind of, yeah. It's disturbing.
Yeah.
We can go on to one more. I already told him, baby. By the way, Johnny wants Tuesdays, but not this coming out one and the occasional Saturday, but maybe I can shift it to Thursday nights. Johnny would like all of the above.
As soon as I put this hot poker in my ass, I'm going to chop my dick off.
Billionaires are weird, man.
Billionaires are freaking weird.
Is it just like you? I don't think Sosa's got $1 billion, but Hunter
weird. Weird. Like, I was reading those text messages because I was like, you know what? Let me read into this Vince McMahon stuff, because more and more starts coming out. Like Brock Lesnar is apparently a part of this as well. He's he's supposedly one of the guys that they're talking about, because here's how the way that they put it. They didn't come out and say Brock Lesnar, but they said a former WWE heavyweight champion who was a former UFC champion.
Wow. Yeah.
That's so unless it's Ronda Rousey, it's Brock Lesnar.
Maybe he wants 2 other guys to join you with him. Holy shit. You've told him you want.
And then he says, so basically you have no choice but to do it. He's like, I'm going to finish right now just thinking about it. Like, oh my God. What is going on?
That's messed up.
Extremely.
Sword fighting.
All right, let's get back on track, man. AFC, NFC, AFC, NFC title game.
Murray, it's a real slobber knocker.
Oh God.
I wonder what a slobber. I don't know what a slobber knocker is.
Did he have JR announce any of this? As God is my witness, she is broken in half. Oh my God. All right. AFC, NFC championship. What to you out of any of the games was the most surprising?
You know what? I thought Detroit, I was rooting for Detroit. I thought they were going to lose. I really did. Even when they were ahead, it was like, well, the 49ers are going to make a move here. All they did was have to have that one mistake. I really thought the Ravens would win. And really with that Ravens game, you just cannot. Why would you want 3 black guys hitting
Mid-sentence, he went back to the text. Mid-sentence.
He wanted more black guys in his bedroom than the Ravens ran the ball. On 82% runs.
80%
passes, I meant to say. Yes. Passing. Like, unbelievable.
For a team that all year long was majority run.
Yeah.
Like, did you just think like, hey, Like, I'm all for, hey, we're going to come out and we're going to surprise these guys. They think we're going to run. We're going to go ahead and pass the ball. But when it's not working, don't you go back to what got you there?
You were never that behind either. You were never that far behind. I mean, you lost 17-10. Like, you were never that. You basically stopped Mahomes. He didn't have that great of a game.
I mean, granted, they did fumble the ball on the goal line, took 7 points off the board. There was that, but you still have to do that. And all these people, like our guy Michael Buckheister, who likes to ramble off random shit sometimes, now has backup to his Lamar's not that guy. Because doesn't an elite quarterback put you on their back and take you there? Doesn't an elite quarterback say, hey, look, I know nothing's working right now, but let's figure this out. We're going to get you a lot like the guy on the other side of the football has done his entire career, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes went this year with the most penalized offense and the most drop passes in the league. Yeah. And they're going to the Super Bowl. Like, for me personally, I just like, maybe there is something to Lamar's not the guy, even though he is about to win his second MVP.
Yeah, he is. He's going to win the MVP. I'm not sure it's all on Lamar either. Your wide receiver, just run. Just keep running. Why would you put with 3 defenders around you? Why would you put the ball out there?
I'm just trying to cross the plane. Like I kind of get it.
Ran right through. You could have ran right through.
I'm with you. Yeah, no, you're right.
You got the best running team in the league. You can run it in.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Did you hear what Rex Ryan said about it?
He didn't
said,
like his feet.
He said BTW. I just thought of what I think is an excellent idea. Maybe you can hint that he knows someone who can beat his feet.
God.
It might be better if you and Johnny try him out first.
I knew you were going to go there.
Comfortable before he's introduced to me. Actually, that makes total sense.
I mean, maybe did Rex Ryan say that he wants to meet Vince McMahon and check out his feet?
Yeah, his feet. Yeah. Good memory. But anyway, Rex Ryan went on a rant about it.
See, I don't.
And they look timid. So tired. They did look timid. Lamar.
I get so tired of these former players like Dan Orlovsky trying to tell you what a good quarterback. Dan Orlovsky, you're the only quarterback ever to go 0-16.
Yeah.
You're the only quarterback I ever watched run out of the back of the end zone because you didn't know where you were on the field to try to avoid a sack. For like 20 feet, too. It wasn't like, oh, I accidentally stepped out of bounds. I'm going to step back in. He was running out of bounds down the damn baseline of the end zone for about 20 feet. Not knowing where he was at on the field. But this is the guy that ESPN has talking about, oh, well, you know, this to be a good quarterback in this league. What do you know about being a good quarterback in this league?
Yeah, you were terrible. When other guys say it, like if you got Dan Marino on there or who else, a couple other guys who say it, I believe it. Even Boomer, when Boomer talks, he was a good quarterback for a while on a couple different teams, but Doubting Thomas says run first QBs are almost always exposed in the playoffs. I just don't think this is on Lamar. I don't think this game was on Lamar at all. I think you have I think it shows you again what a really bad game plan and play calling does for you. You're not going to put your guys in situations where they can win. I mean, you can't throw the ball all of a sudden, do something all year long that has been successful, that has you hosting the championship game in the AFC, and stop doing it. I could see if they were down 2 or 3 touchdowns, but they weren't.
All of these people that are out there, and Doubting Thomas saying the same thing Buck did, and it drives me freaking insane. Lamar Jackson is a run-first quarterback. He's a running back. He's not a quarterback. The guy threw for almost 3,700 yards and completed 67% of his passes. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? He's about to win his second MVP.
Yeah, the stuff on Lamar is over. Sorry. I mean, that bird flew the coop. He's a good quarterback. He's going to be starting in this league. If the Ravens wanted to trade him tomorrow, people would be giving up first-round picks for him.
Yes.
And then some. Like, no, it's I think again, once again, I'll say it again. It's offensive coordinators in this league that have not caught up to the trend that's going to be coming out of college. It's over. You're not going to have statues coming out of college anymore who can't run in the backfield. It's just not going to happen anymore. The best athlete on every team is turning into a quarterback in college because they want to win in college almost exclusively.
He ran the ball 148 times this year and threw the ball 500 times. That's not a run-first quarterback. It's not.
Well, I mean, I'd like to see Patrick Mahomes' numbers because he has 500 to 600 yards rushing a year. Yes. He's the best quarterback in the league, but he does run the ball a lot.
Yes, that's it. Him running the ball in the first half is what won Kansas City the game.
Yep.
Him keeping drives alive.
Almost lost them in the playoffs last year because he got hurt on a run.
Yeah. And it's not it's not always the coaching with you boys. Players win game. That's exactly what I just said, Doubting Thomas. Open your damn ears and stop worrying about whether or not you're changing your profile picture back to, the Kansas City Royals or something to mess with Fitz. Actually, listen, I said maybe it's time to say that Lamar is not that guy. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. Saying he's not a good quarterback is a stupid statement. Because you don't have anything to back that up.
Well, what guy are you not saying? Are you saying he's not Patrick Mahomes? We knew that.
He's not the guy that can win you a championship. He's a guy that can put up the numbers, the MVP type numbers, but cannot win you a Super Bowl. He can't put you on your back and carry on his back.
Same way about Dan Marino. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. He's widely
Dan Marino's a different. Well, yeah, I mean, and even Joe Montana says that
even John Elway,
the greatest quarterback of all time.
Won 2 Super Bowls, but he didn't win them until his late 30s. So was John Elway? Did he suck all that time? He wasn't exactly run first, but he ran a lot too.
When it comes to Dan Marino didn't win because Dan Marino wouldn't take less money so that the Dolphins could afford to build the team around him. So that's on Dan Marino. Dan Marino was a great quarterback.
Super Bowl his rookie year,
and then they never sniffed it afterwards. That's what I'm saying. Like they never he never took a. Why do you think Tom Brady was so great all those years? Kept deferring money, kept restructuring his contract so that they could afford other players. Did the same thing in Tampa Bay, restructuring. It doesn't mean that he was getting paid less. It means that he went the Shohei Ohtani route with it and said, "Hey, look, you pay me this now, you pay me this later," is what he was doing. Other quarterbacks have not been willing to do that. In Lamar Jackson right now, he has all of those
Lamar
tools.
Jackson fumble it on the half-yard line. Was that Lamar Jackson?
But does Lamar Jackson has just as many weapons as Patrick Mahomes does?
Here's the thing. We come on here and we talk about sports. We come on here and we talk about a game that was the difference was that idiot fumbling it on the half-yard line. That was the difference in the game. Obviously, maybe they lose in overtime, but at least it goes to overtime or the Ravens win. And we're arguing like Lamar Jackson all of a sudden sucks because he didn't fumble it.
I'm not saying he sucks. I just said that. I'm not saying he sucks.
That's what I'm saying. We're saying he's not a championship quarterback because this dipshit Flowers fumbles it on the fucking half-yard line.
That's how it goes,
that's what
right?
We're saying. I understand that's how it goes, but that's beyond his control. And the play calling is beyond his control too. You could say whatever you want. The most important coach in sports is the coach of a football team.
Yeah.
It is. And it really isn't that close. I mean, basketball, I guess we can have a conversation about, but it really isn't that close. It does matter in these games. If this was a fucking baseball game, I'd be talking about players. But this is a football game where 82% of the goddamn plays were pass plays when you're a fucking running team.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It didn't make any sense to me, but
I'm with you. But I don't know that if you switch quarterbacks on teams, if Lamar is quarterbacking the Chiefs
we're not
on Sunday, and if Mahomes is quarterbacking the Ravens on
He's
Sunday,
not Patrick Mahomes.
Do you think that Patrick Mahomes elevates Baltimore to win that game?
He's not the best quarterback to ever play the game. And that's okay. He could still be a top 5, top 10 quarterback in the league, and he could definitely win a Super Bowl. He's definitely good enough to win a Super Bowl.
I don't think he is. Not in a league where he's always going to be playing against Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, well.
His entire career is going to be going up against Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Okay, so Josh Allen's never going to win one. Josh Allen, you wouldn't say is a run first guy, but I bet you he ran the ball just as much as Lamar Jackson.
I'm going to kick Doubting Thomas in his dick when I meet him. Straight in his dick.
Josh Allen, that is never going to win one. But let's not talk about Burrow, though.
I think Josh Allen's going to win one. Joe Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes.
I know he did. I didn't want to talk about Joe Burrow. I just said that.
I think Josh Allen is going to win one because I think he's going to get a better coaching staff. Doubting Thomas is his boyfriend. I think McDermott's out, and I believe they're going to bring Bill Belichick in. That's my surprise move of the offseason. They fire McDermott. They bring in Bill Belichick. Belichick brings along Josh McDaniels. Belichick runs that defense. McDaniels runs that offense, and that team's a force, man.
Do you think they're going to get rid? He's not.
I do.
Fired him.
Not yet, but I think that they will.
And Belichick coaches until he's 90. I don't know. I think
I think he coaches for at least 4 or 5 more years.
A lot of cliches for me today, but I think the ship has sailed on Belichick. Great coach.
Well, you're still reeling from those text messages I made you read.
Yes. See if there's any more. You need your panties ripped off and 3 big black dicks in all 3 holes at the same time. All right.
Yeah. Jeremiah Murray says all of these guys are Barkley and Ewing in the 90s, just watching as the best wins over and over. Any chance that Mahomes goes to play baseball for 2 years?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I have to say, basketball a little different, 5-on-5. So I still think there's quarterbacks that could definitely beat Mahomes. I think this was the year. That's why
if Mahomes wins another Super Bowl and retires immediately after, is he already a Hall of Famer with only 6 years in the league?
Is this his 6th year?
It's his 6th year in the league.
Yeah.
Well, it's his 6th year as a starter.
Guys have won it for 6 years. Gale Sayers was in. He played basically 6 years. He did come back and was okay. But they back then they just opened up his knee and like put everything back together. Like you're a kid trying to fix your Nintendo and sewed him back up. So his knee was fucked. But Gale Sayers, basically 6 years, 6-7 years, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Now, a couple of years ago, people were like, he's a Hall of Famer. It's like, well, let's give him some time.
Yeah, but I mean, you've gone to the AFC title game all 6 years. Yeah. This is what, their 4th Super Bowl?
He's the
in those
best,
6 years.
Look wise, he's the best quarterback I've ever seen.
And the only one that he's the only Super Bowl
for years.
The only Super Bowl he's lost of the 3 that he's been to has been against Tom Brady.
Or against Tampa's defense. Really, that's kind of
that's what I'm saying. But when we say Eli Manning 1-2, we say Eli beat Brady, don't we? Twice.
Yeah, it's true. He didn't beat Brady. Brady was pretty good in that game too. I can't say a couple years before then when they thought Brady was done, and that we had that snoozer of a Super Bowl against the Rams. I forget the exact score, but it was a fucking tappy.
It was like 12-9 or something.
Whatever it was, he wasn't very good, and then that's when he went to Tampa, and the rest is history. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that Mahomes now is a Hall of Famer. I think he's a Hall of Famer before the Super Bowl, whether he wins or loses.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, every single year as a starter, you've gone to at least the AFC title game. And 4 out of those 6 now you've gone to the Super Bowl. Like that's fucking insane.
American TV said KC had to win. Taylor Swift was there. Duh.
So let me ask you a question. Heading into the Super Bowl, I like to gamble. You like to gamble.
I'm just saying, is this a tinfoil hat thing?
I'm going to give you a prop bet. Speaking of tinfoil hats.
All right. Tell me.
Now, it's actually a prop bet in Vegas, a plus 280. After the game, Travis Kelce proposes to Taylor Swift on the field. Yes or no? Plus 280 for yes.
This is my reaction to that.
Plus 280 for yes, minus 240 for no.
This is what we're talking about today. And this is what football used to be.
This is what we're talking about today.
Showing a picture of Dick Buckus right now with a handlebar, mustache.
And now is Taylor. Well, my whole feed yesterday was flooded with how's Taylor going to make it from her concert in Japan on Saturday to the Super Bowl on Sunday. And then today I saw like it was an actual prop bet. This is an actual thing you can bet on at plus 280 for yes, minus 240 for no.
You have to say, I mean,
Travis Kelce proposes to her on the field.
The NFL is undefeated. You have to at least respect the game. Like the NFL, I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the player. The game of the NFL, like just everything is a spectacle. Everything is it's almost like a movie. That's why everybody's saying, are these plays scripted? Is it partially scripted? Or referees?
Arian Foster said he gets a script every year. So Arian Foster said. I mean, nobody remembers that Arian Foster was even in the league, but
almost won an MVP.
Now they do.
Running back blew out. Did Arian Foster, was that when he blew out his knee and he wasn't good anymore? Was that part of the script?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's talking about this Arian Foster thing. There's no way that guys like Colin Kaepernick or guys like Ray Rice didn't come out and be like, "Hey, look, you know what? They blackballed me. Here's the real deal." You know what I mean? Like none of that has ever happened. But Arian Foster is going to be like, "Oh yeah, I got a script every year." And it would tell me, "Hey, week 1, you're going to get 3 touchdowns. Week 3, you're going to get hurt. Week 4, you're going to," and it's like, what?
It's too much. Yeah. And he's on there getting high with the guy. We talked about this like a year ago, and he's on there getting high.
Welcome to Barstool.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like everybody would know. Like conspiracy theories don't work that way. Exactly. Conspiracy theories don't really work that way. When so many people know, we'd find out. Just like in basketball.
Speaking of lust in his eyes, do you think Vince McMahon ever met this guy?
He met the wife.
The mom.
You're being assaulted, but it's made you come nonstop. Just one continuous constant orgasm. And just before you pass out, those big black dicks squirt their loads. Oh my God. Don't we have to go under?
I'm so glad I told you these.
Where's the Debbie Does Dallas music? Little higher. As you lay on your stomach, the cum is coming out of all of your holes. I'll turn you over and jack off all over you.
This is definitely getting clipped.
Oh, you know a good lawyer?
I'm sending this to Nicole and being like, I'm going to say we weren't even on yet. This is just how he talks to me when you're not around.
False start. Offense. The entire offensive line.
You got knocked the fuck out, man. Give me my goddamn.
Does the offensive line matter for a quarterback? I mean, does it? Because, I mean, you basically had the top maybe 2-3 offensive lines playing in the championship game on Sunday.
I'm going to tell you.
He said there.
Here's what I'm going to say. If Vince McMahon wants all that stuff really done for him, all he's got to do.
Show me the money.
That's all he's got to do. For $3 million, we could try some of this stuff.
Back on TV, Windy City Sex Talk.
I thought this was a family program. It goes to show, once again, this is the second time already in the first 34 minutes of the show, Dowling Thomas, you've proven you've never listened to the show.
Yes. Megan TV, Windy City Sex Talk. You can find that on Rumble.
Week 5, we're sending you to Vince McMahon's house. Part of the script.
Oh, man.
So, in other news, the Cubs signed Hector Neris.
Oh, God. Can we do... Yes! It's a diatribe, it's a conspiracy theory, and it's an island in the middle of unapologetic. And we're pretty accurate today, but inaccurate sports talk. It's called Fitzgibberish. Did I say that? I don't know. Whatever. Jim Harbaugh was hired as head coach of the Chargers this past week. We haven't talked about it yet. Los Angeles' second team. And LA didn't even have a team 15 years ago due to lack of interest in football. And Bears general manager Ryan Poles, when asked if he talked to Harbaugh, shrewdly said, "I haven't talked to Jim." This was during his year-end press conference at Ellis Hall, where he retained Eberflus's terrible services. That was editorial right there. He's the coach at Michigan. Well, Ryan Poles, that's kind of like passing on Pamela Anderson in the 90s to suck on Rosie O'Donnell's chode. Sounds like a Vince McMahon tweet. But anyway, all kidding aside, we have swallowed a tendency of allowing mediocrity for this team to where it's standard business procedure.
After everything you were just talking about, you can't talk about swallowing anything right now.
You can find us on Rumble next week. To find the Bears equal in ineptitude, you have to go out of sports entirely and to the federal government, or more importantly, the upcoming election. Instead of having the best and brightest vying for our vote through compelling arguments and sound policy decisions, we get one man compromised by age and the other by madness. Instead of sound debates, we get mudslinging competitions that harken back to Blue from old school. You're my boy, Blue! We take this chicken shit and we call it caviar. This Bears organization is even worse than that. We don't even get an open hiring and competition. We stick with another good coordinator instead of a great coach, as usual. There is no way Harbaugh would have taken the Chargers job, a team that has never had solid ownership or a fan base over one of the charter franchises in the Bears. A Bear organization that is the laughing stock of the sports world. Do you not think Harbaugh would have wanted to turn around the Bears kind of like he turned around the Michigan Wolverines? We don't have one or two TV households anymore. McCaskies. Like I've said before on this show, more and more you'll have whole families who don't share one team because they don't share one fucking screen. How dare you, McCaskies, run out another clunker of a coach? How dare you, Poles, enable their cheapness and try to wrap it up in continuity? You keep it up, and all I have to do is sit back and watch the ratings bottom out someday. You heard it here first. It would start a chain reaction the way you're acting. You got one more year, or your stadium is going to look a little bit, if I can get to it.
Pause for effect.
Like this.
But when the smell hit the crowd, that's when Lardass' plan really started to work.
Girlfriends barfed on boyfriends. Kids barfed on their parents. A fat lady barfed in her purse. The Donnelly twins barfed on each other. And the women's auxiliary barfed all over the benevolent order of antelopes.
And Lardass just sat back and enjoyed what he'd created.
A complete and total barforama.
Was that Rosie O'Donnell? And that's gibberish. Combs.
So the Cubs signed Hector Neris. No, I'm just joking. It's the same stuff. I mean, it's the same stuff over and over again with this Bears organization. That's what I keep trying to tell people. Look, it's not about the fact that they stuck with an inept head coach. It's about the guys that they passed up because they wanted to stick with this.
It's not just Harbaugh.
You got Harbaugh. You've got you didn't even want to talk to Bill Belichick. You didn't want to talk to the offensive coordinator for the Lions. You didn't want to talk to any of these guys who are having success, but you wanted to stick with your head coach who has had 2 losing seasons, who lost 3 games this season in historic fashion, who lost 2 of his coordinators for conduct off of the field, this is the guy that you want to stick with for what? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to anybody, but this is what the Bears organization is. And I get, I get John.
He spent 15 years. John said he spent 15 years. I understand he did in California.
They didn't even talk to him.
Yeah, they didn't even talk to him. They don't even know. From all we've heard, take them on their word, which is hard to do in football, but take them on their word. They had no idea. They never even talked to him.
They didn't even hire Ron Rivera to be a defensive coordinator, John. He's not coming back to the Bears. And not only that, he's been terrible the last handful of years as a head coach.
Was a pretty decent defensive coordinator.
Yeah, sure.
Well, that would have made a lot of sense, but I don't know.
He was our defensive coordinator the last time that we went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's getting a little older, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have mind that pickup. But to not hire other coaches, to not steal their proprietary intelligence, what they know, what people they know, what the communities they're talking in know. Jim Harbaugh is not that smart of a guy, but he knows what talent looks like, not just on the field, but off the field and coaches. He knows how to build communities, and we're not gonna do that here again.
John, stop it, man. Stop. Because he just was not a good head coach, and he's not going to be a good. But the fact of the matter is, if you wanted Ron Rivera here, you basically have the same coach in Matt Eberflus. You need a guy that can run this franchise, which is why they went out and got the guys that they did. Both of these guys have potential to be a head coach. But here's the problem. Now you're going, and I'm 99.9% sure they're drafting Caleb Williams. 99.9% sure they're going with Caleb Williams. Not only that, because the other thing that I heard today was from Bert. What the hell's his name?
While you think of that, John says Chico took the Panthers to the Super Bowl. Thoughts?
At any rate, Albert Breer. There you go. Albert Breer says today that coaches were being told and being sold the idea of coaching Caleb Williams in their interviews with the Bears. So I'm 99.9% positive they're going with Caleb Williams. But now you're bringing Caleb Williams into a team who, if it fails, is going to lose its GM, is going to lose its head coach. You're going to have another offense, and you're just running the circle all over again. And not only that, you're bringing in another rookie quarterback to start his first year. When was the last time we saw a quarterback start his rookie year, minus CJ Stroud, and have a good season and become a great quarterback? It didn't happen with Patrick Mahomes. It didn't happen with Josh Allen. It didn't happen with Lamar Jackson. It didn't happen with Jalen. It doesn't happen with these guys. What you do is you bring these kids along. You bring them behind somebody that they can learn from and learn the system. Patrick Mahomes is great because of the way that the Kansas City Chiefs brought him along. Sit for a year behind Alex Smith. We're going to go to the playoffs. We're a playoff team. Sit behind him. Learn from Andy Reid. Learn from Alex Smith, the consummate professional. We're going to give you weapons like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and a great offensive line and a solid defense, and you're going to win.
I also see all these people, and I don't want to pick on Doubting Thomas again, but I'm going to, saying,
fuck that guy.
You just need Patrick Mahomes and you're fine. Well, if he started on the Bears in 2017, I don't think that would have worked out. Definitely wouldn't have if he started in 2021 when Fields started out. Like you just need Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes is 1 in a billion player. And that's not overextending it. That's not an exaggeration. He's a 1 in a billion type player. You're not going to just find that.
Yeah. I'm with you.
That's not going to work. It sounds like, oh yeah, but why can't they find just Patrick Mahomes? Well, I'm sorry, they didn't. 9 other teams did pass up on Patrick Mahomes. That's how hard it is to find a quarterback. So that's
you
how
also have to go to the right organization.
Exactly. One of the best offensive minds in the last 40 years is who? It's Andy
Reid,
and it's not close.
Yes.
I mean, maybe Kyle Shanahan is starting to burgeon up there, but still hasn't won a Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan, you might be able to say he's the next young guy, but it's been Andy Reid the last 30, 40 years.
You want a passing first quarterback. You Doubting Thomas, you sound like a middle-aged white man who wants people to stay off of his lawn. The league is going to the mobile quarterback. That's just what it's doing. You're going to have quarterbacks that mix in running and passing. And to say that you want to run there is not a quarterback in this league that runs more than they pass. Not even Justin Fields, as much as you would like to believe that he does not. Half of the time that he was running around because he had to save his life. Is why he was running away. Half of his runs were out of necessity to not die.
And this is another one. Okay.
There's no such thing as a run first quarterback.
But he does have a point that they haven't. But how many running first quarterbacks has there been? How many Magic Johnsons was there in the NBA before he got in the NBA? And would Magic Johnson still have been a Hall of Fame player? Yes. But until the fast break came around and people understood how to use him and how to use his talents, I hate to compare it to another sport, but until the offensive coordinators have to get their head out of their asses in the NFL and start figuring out how to utilize these guys a little bit better.
Answer me this, Doubting Thomas. When was the last Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl that they won a game off of a play that he didn't use his legs? They beat Philadelphia last year because he used his legs. Mm-hmm. That run got them to where they needed to be for that field goal. The Super Bowl before that they won because of his ability to escape pressure and run the damn ball. Now, to say that he's a run-first quarterback, there's no such thing as a run-first quarterback in this league. If in order to be a run-first quarterback, you got to tell me that they're running more than they're passing. That's a run-first quarterback. They're not running first. They all drop back. And then if things break down, yes, they take off and they run. The Bears had no offensive line for 3 fucking years. That's why he was a run-first quarterback in your definition. Because he had to escape pressure. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, there are people in this league, guys who play in this damn league, that say that this kid is a superstar, that he is the toughest player that they've played against to tackle. These are guys that are playing in this league telling you this. I don't care. I just don't want a running quarterback. I don't want a guy who's going to use his legs. Well, then stop watching football, because that's what football is. You know what's going to happen? Caleb Williams is going to come to Chicago, and if they don't beef up this offensive line, he's going to run the fucking ball because they're not going to be able to block for him. Jesus Christ. People with this Lamar Jackson, this and that, he's not a good quarterback. 3,700 yards passing, 68% completion percentage. Would you take that in Chicago?
Yes.
Any day of the week. Any day of the week you would take that in Chicago. Would you take Jalen Hurts? You take him taking you to the Super Bowl last year, even though they didn't win it? You would take going to the Super Bowl right now in Chicago over what we've had? Yes.
Jalen Hurts plays off schedule all the time. Jalen Hurts runs a lot.
Yes.
We watched the Eagles Buffalo game from this past year. It's basically both the guys running a lot. Now, do they pass for more yards? Yes. They primarily pass for more yards. Primarily.
Yeah.
But they run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And the same thing said about both those guys. And I guess a lot of people, doubt Josh Allen. Can Josh Allen make it all the way?
I'll take a guy that throws with his feet if it means we win, says Jeremiah Murray. Dave Lawrence says 3 years. We haven't had an O-line in 3 decades. I mean, look, I agree with you with that too. Like, the Bears haven't had a relevant coaching staff in 3 decades. They haven't had a relevant ownership in 3 decades. They haven't had really much of a relevant team for the better part of 3 decades. 40 years. 40 years. 15 winning seasons in 40 years. Last time I checked and last time I knew math, 15 out of 45, not a good percentage. Big black quarterback.
Jeremiah, big black QBs that fill all the holes. Tony Thomas says, "Shut up, Trigger." That's Dave Lawrence's nickname, by the way.
Trigger. All right. Jimbo Covert ain't walking through that door.
Walking through the door. The last all-pro left tackle on the Bears.
The only good offensive lineman, the Bears have ever had.
I don't know.
One.
Cruz was pretty good.
One. Jesus, like this team, this franchise, we're stuck in a circle, guys.
That's why I want a left tackle. That's why I keep telling you, you keep falling in love with all these receivers.
It doesn't matter.
I want a left tackle.
It doesn't matter when we're still hiring these idiots that can't bring talent out of players. We're guys that can't. We keep getting guys that can't recognize talent, that pick talent, and then we keep getting guys in to coach that can't produce talent. What are we supposed to do? What are the Bears going to do this year? Do you know anything about Shane Waldron? When you think about great offenses this year, offenses over even the last 2 years, 3 years that have set the world ablaze, that have just been great offenses. How many teams do you have before you get to Seattle?
20.
Okay, defensive coordinator.
They had Geno Smith too, who can't run. By the way, he's a pass first quarterback.
He did do good things with Geno Smith. I'm not going to lie. I mean, he turned Geno Smith into a relevant quarterback. So I'm not saying he's going to be terrible, but what I'm saying is we keep settling for these guys instead of going out to get the damn big fish. Why aren't we talking? Well, you're not even talking to Harbaugh. You're not even talking to Bill Belichick. You're not talking to all of these guys in the league that deserve a chance to be a head coach because you want to run it back with Matt Eberflus? Matt Eberflus. The guy sounds like Joe Biden behind a mic. And that's the guy that we want to run it forward with?
No, is he hurt or is he not? Is he out of the game? Is he out of the game? No. Yeah, he's out. No, he's 50-50.
He's out, but he's 50-50 and we'll decide at game time.
What happened to Alan Williams? I don't know. He's not. I'm the defensive coordinator.
We wish him the best. Yeah.
We never even said that.
It was a great game plan. The defensive coordinator did a great job. Oh wait, that was me. Yeah, real funny, Matt. Yeah, how come you didn't say the defensive coordinator's got to do a better job when we have a lead in the fourth quarter and we blow it in historic fashion? Oh, by the way, that defensive coordinator, that was me. You didn't say that time, huh? Unbelievable, man.
And then you had a coaching staff.
Orioles just got sold, says Jeremiah Murray.
The bird or the team?
The team. I have not seen anything on that yet, but how much did they get sold for? Speaking of, did you see that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is on the cover of MLB The Show 24? Why is it Vladimir Guerrero? Why is it not Ronald Acuna Jr.?
Or Shohei?
Well, Shohei was last
Trout.
year. Shohei was last year. But why not the guy who just went 70-40, the first guy to steal 70 bases and hit 40 home runs in a season? 1.725 billion.
Yeah, 1.725 billion Oreos.
That's 1.724 billion more than what the White Sox are going to sell for.
Yeah, right. Why don't you look at it? Why don't you look at the Forbes magazine again, buddy?
They're actually. We were talking about it today. The White Sox are going to have a new stadium. You're probably in the next 10 years, the White Sox will have new stadium, new owner, and a new way to. They're going to have their own network.
Yeah, that's possible. They're also getting. I mean, it looks like the South Loop thing is like everybody is on board. It looks like it's going to happen. I think he's going to do it. Maybe have 1 year if he's still alive. He'll be in his 90s. Yeah, I'm talking about Jerry Reinsdorf.
Yeah.
And then he'll sell the team. Then it'll go way up in cost.
If you were to get Adam Schefter off of Wish, then we would get Jeremiah Worry.
We're on our way to Rumble. Here it comes.
So, I think that the White Sox are going to build a new stadium. I don't know if if it makes sense in the South Loop. I know we were talking about this last week, and you got all butthurt because I asked about parking, and you're like, "Where do you park at Wrigley? Where do you park at Wrigley?" You know why they have? You know why you have? You know why you have? You know why you have problems?
Fan who asked about parking.
Do you know why you have a hard time parking at Wrigley? Because fans show up.
Yeah, that's
the stadium is full.
There's no fucking parking.
30,000 fans a game.
Whatever. There's no parking.
Dad, you really ought to drink more.
30,000 fans a game. That's 29,500 more fans than the White Sox get.
Another drink. I don't care about your fan base. There's no parking over there. It's in the middle of a fucking street. You got a stadium. They can do it on the South in the South Loop too. You're just a little jealous. That's the problem. You're a little jealous.
Not jealous at all.
Some of your credit, some of your street credit.
I'm jealous of what? That you're going to have a brand new fancy $3 billion stadium to go watch your 60-win team play every year?
You sound like a husband who looks at his wife's phone for text messages.
You're going to have a 60-win team in an $8 billion stadium.
Like that.
I'll go to White Sox games all day long for the food and to go see the ballpark. They've got a fantastic ballpark, and they've got fantastic food in the ballpark. Their team just sucks. That's what. But White Sox fans. That's what they come at me. Oh, okay. They see the Cubs hat and they see the Cubs gear. Hold on.
This is No. I criticize my team. When are you going to criticize your team? Who have they fucking gotten other than a bag of fucking balls?
Oh, I'm sorry that we didn't go outside and sign Paul DeYoung to fill in for us at shortstop. My bad. Who have you gotten?
Belly bombs.
Who have you gotten?
Where is
we just went out and got Hector Neris, one of the premier closers in the game.
Oh my God, he's a premier closer. You signed him for $9 million for 1 year.
Yeah, and he's great contract.
He's your contract. Have a problem.
Great contract. $1.4 million, $1.4 ERA for $9 million. Yes.
If he's going to be your closer, have a great season. Nobody
1.4 ERA last year as a closer for the Houston Astros.
Wanted him. Nobody else wanted him.
You got out of your
1 year and $9 million.
Okay.
No one else wanted him.
Do you know why?
Not your closer. This is.
Do you know?
Carl Edwards Jr. is going to be your closer.
We signed him too with an invite to camp, baby. No, look,
they're the big ticket players.
I don't know where that's going. Jeremiah Murray is also this show's Vince McMahon, apparently.
Yes.
Anyway, White Sox fans come at me because I'm wearing Cubs gear and I say something about the White Sox, like, hey,
No
yes,
one's
great.
coming at you.
Yes, they do. No, stop it. Because we were having this conversation earlier today, and there was White Sox fans in the room, and they're like, "Oh, well, you're just jealous."
Made up story.
I don't make up anything. Do I look like a sideline reporter for ESPN? We were having this conversation earlier, and I said, "Look, I want them to get a new stadium. It's fine. Wherever you want to build it, it's fine. But what is the sense of getting a new stadium when you've already got a beautiful stadium and you've got probably the best food in a stadium in the city? But the reason why people don't go to that stadium isn't because of the neighborhood that it's in. It's because of the team that is on the field, man.
No,
put a good product on the field and people will go.
They have centers now that are stadiums are in the middle of these like business district centers with bars and maybe a casino and
I'm all for it.
They can't build it over there. They won't allow you to build in certain places over there.
So are you going to be happy? Are you going to be happy as a Sox fan with a brand new stadium, state-of-the-art stadium in a business district where you can go drink, you can go to the casino, you can go out to watch the game at a sports book that's right inside of the stadium. You can go get a massage. Yeah, you can go do all of those things. Are you going to be happy with that as a Sox fan if you're still a 60 to 70 win team?
No. And here's the difference.
Well, that's my point.
They're finally going to be a big market team. If they move to the South Loop, they're going to get bought by somebody else. Their evaluation is going to go through to the roof when they move there. That's the whole point of all of this. If they don't move there, I don't have a team anymore. I'm rooting for the Tampa Bay Rays, who couldn't keep the devil in their Rays name. They didn't have they couldn't even do that. That's who I'm rooting for after this. Things have really gone south after the Robert Taylor Holmes.
I mean, yeah.
Who am I, Joan Rivers? Back in TV. And I'm cute. I don't know what's going on there. See, you bring up the Vince McMahon tweets, and it gets weird on the comment line.
I mean, look, that's what Jeremiah Murray said. See, there you go. I mean, I think things went south after you read those text messages.
This is the first thing got, and Shanna's not even here today for the show.
She's gonna watch this and have a heart attack. She's gonna watch the playback and be like, "What the hell?" Or she's actually here watching and she just can't bring herself to comment.
That could be it.
That's most likely it.
Boy. Come on. All right, let's talk Cubs.
We don't need to talk Cubs.
Let's talk Cubs. Let's do it.
They signed Hector Neris. They've got a long way to go. They need to add at least one more big bat, and they need to add a number 2 starter. I know that there are people out there like on the radio 670 The Score, ESPN 1000 are saying the Cubs need to have at least 2 more big bats, and they need to pick up more. I agree. You need to have at least 1 more bat, and you need to add some more pitching. Dave Lauren, let's not. Look, you can't just be. Look, this is what I don't get. How grown ass men like you and I give each other shit about the Cubs and Sox just because we like picking at one another, but neither one of us really hates the other team. I mean, you might hate the Cubs. I actually don't hate the White Sox. I want the White Sox to do good. I will root for the White Sox to do well.
It's just you say shit sometimes that makes me want to stab you in the throat.
That's because that's what I like to do. I like to push your buttons to get you going.
And why does Vince McMahon look like he's vying for a spot on Telemundo?
Well, when you're about to run away to Puerto Rico.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's
Brandon Combs, you suck at $sign. I wonder what that means.
I do suck money. And look, I might suck ass, but that's between me and my wife. You leave me alone. Anyway. Jerry does look like Paul Schaefer with glasses. I don't like look, the Cubs need a lot more, but I don't like when grown men are like, oh, I'm a Sox fan. I can't like the Cubs. Why? We play each other 4 games a year.
I just thought you'd be a little bit more pissed at the lack of movement
with the Cubs. But you know what? At the same time,
there'd be some criticism here.
I am, but there is. Here's my criticism. My criticism is that
criticism, and I look at you, and this is what I get.
Here's my criticism.
I get a sleepy.
My criticism is on Scott Boras. Scott Boras is a detriment to the game. Scott Boras is a detriment to his clients. This guy will there is no reason why he won't. You ask for my opinion, and then I start giving you my opinion, and that's the shit you do.
Sounder. I hit the wrong sounder.
Liar.
All right, go. Because I'm going to actually agree with you here.
Scott Boras not allowing these guys to sign till later in the year is the problem. It's the epitome, like what he is doing with the guy. Like the Cubs are the only team with a deal on the table. The Cubs are the only team that have made an offer to him. And from everything that I'm hearing is that Belly wants to stay in Chicago. Sorry, Bellinger. You can't call him Belly. You don't like nicknames.
I don't like belly bombs.
It's
weird for a grown man to be screaming belly bombs in his garage. It's a little weird.
Oh my God. I hate you.
But this is what Boras does. I don't know if the Angels are, but I agree. Boras has stopped a lot of players from going to certain places.
He did the same thing with Freeman. With Freddie Freeman last year, he didn't even tell Freeman that Atlanta offered anything. And Freeman would have taken anything to stay in Atlanta and not leave to go to LA. But he got so much more from LA than he would have from Atlanta that the agent then makes more money. That's where it's got to, like, somebody. It's going to take somebody being like, you know what, fuck you, you're fired. I'm hiring somebody else. Hey, Cubs, I'm getting a new agent. Give me a couple of days. We'll talk the deal then. Plain so. But instead, they let them hold out, and now what? Now you're going to hold out till what? Till April, maybe May.
That's his report.
Look at he's got 4 of the top free agents right now. 4 of the top free agents are Boras guys, and none of them have signed. Matt Chapman, Boras guy. Bellinger, Boras guy. The pitcher from San Diego, what the hell's his name? Snell, Boras guy. These guys are all Boras guys, and none of them are signed. Everybody else is signing. Shohei Ohtani signed a $700 million deal for 10 years. The Dodgers handed out like 4 or 5 more multi-$100-million contracts since then. And these guys can't sign? It's not because of the agent. It's not because teams aren't willing to spend money. It's not because teams aren't ready to bring these guys on. It's because Scott Boras is holding them out.
That's some of it. Also, there's a little bit of collusion going on with baseball teams where they're all standing fast.
Shouldn't there be?
Know. I mean, the pay that they receive from some of these players and then they give to them is
the reported offer from the Cubs was 6 years for $250. Supposedly, Bellinger is told by Boras he's going to get a 10-year deal. Nobody in their right mind is giving Bellinger a 10-year deal. No, I love Bellinger, but I don't want to give anybody a 10-year. I don't want to give nobody a 10-year deal. When was the last time that a 10-year deal was signed where a player won a World Series with that team? Do you know who it was? A-Rod with the Yankees in 2009. He's the only one that has signed a 10-year deal and won a World Series with that team.
Yeah, Bryce Harper almost did.
Well,
but
sure.
You're right. No, that makes sense. I can't think of one. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to see, through which side is going on when you don't know a lot of what's being said back and forth. 6 years, 250 sounds like a lot for him in my mind. I mean, this is a guy who didn't play well for a long period of time, and he wasn't. I mean, he was hurt a little bit here or there. Every guy is, but there was no major injury. So to give a guy even that much is pretty wild to me. I think Boris is ahead of his skis here, and I don't think you would have ever said you would have taken. Do you want Bellinger for 6 years, 250?
I would take 6 years, 250. I'm fine with 6 years, 250, especially but especially for one, I think if you're going 6 years, 250, I think there's going to be opt-outs. I think there's going to be some incentives in there. It's not going to be a guaranteed 250. You probably get a guaranteed 170, 180, and the rest is going to be on incentives and opt-outs. So I'd be fine with that. And even if the whole 250 is guaranteed, I'm fine with that too. Like 6 years is fine for me. 10 years there's no way. I'm not even getting close. I'm not even giving you 8 for Bellinger.
And you're trusting him.
I'm trusting him enough that, look, a couple of years he was bad, but he also had a really significant wrist injury. So he was dealing with that. It took him a while to get back from it, come back from it. And I think he's just comfortable in Chicago. I think he had a really comfortable season in Chicago. I think he liked playing in front of the fan base. I think that he was comfortable with being here. I think he'd be comfortable anywhere, to be honest with you, because he's just that guy. But he is one of those guys that thrives off of a strong crowd, right? Like if he went to Detroit, he'd be miserable because nobody goes to watch those games.
I need a guy with a strong crowd. If a guy needs a strong crowd, I don't know if I want to give him 6 years.
I'm not saying he needs a strong crowd. I'm just saying he likes playing in front of it. Like any ball player would prefer to play in front of a packed house. I'm not saying that he's the only one. I'm just saying that I think he really liked being at Wrigley. I think he really liked being a Cub. I mean, that's why he's out taking pictures with his lattes with the Cubs emblem on it. That was so stupid. Cubs fans went nuts about it too. It was so dumb. Did you see that?
Yeah,
he posted a picture on Instagram with his wife where the foam on the latte was the Cubs logo, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's 100% coming back." No, or he's trolling you. I think they're going to sign him. I have confidence that they're going to sign him. I just think it's going to take a little bit longer because he's a Scott Boras guy to do it, and I think that there's a reason. I agree with I believe it was Lawrence and Holmes that I was listening to that said it. It might have been later in the day. I don't know. Somebody said today on the radio I heard, and I agree with, is when Jed Hoyer said at the Cubs convention, "Hey, we're only in like the 4th or 5th inning of our off season." He said that for a reason. They're not done. They're going to make moves, and they might make a trade. They might still get a deal done with Cleveland to get Bieber, which would drastically change the offseason already just on that signing alone. And then if you end up adding Chapman or you end up adding Bellinger or maybe even both, then all of a sudden you're in, especially if it's before spring training starts on February 23rd, which is their first preseason game against the White Sox. If you do that and it's all done by then, everything else is forgotten before then because it's still the offseason. You still have time.
The Sox told Bellinger they had $5 million on a nice Casio watch. Playing straight automobiles. He could have one of them. They said it was the best deal out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
He Doubting Thomas.
Dad, you really ought to drink more.
Doubting Thomas saved it to his Pornhub profile.
I'm back.
Unbelievable.
Tax like that.
Dude,
that's how you tax.
It was weird.
Like 10, 15 years
you
ago.
know it's bad when I'm not surprised that you had sex trafficking and sexual harassment lawsuit against you, but I was surprised by your text messages.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know that it was going to be bad when I said, "Hey, you got to check out these text messages," because I was like, wow. Not surprised by sex trafficking lawsuit. Not surprised by sexual harassment. Shocked by the text messages and the content that was in them. It was unreal.
Weird.
Yeah, just I mean, like why don't you try him out and then bring him to me if he's comfortable?
Stop it.
Like, I mean, what are we talking about, man? The whole thing with the 3 black guys, 1 in each hole, as deep as they can go, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here, man?
What's happening?
No, I mean, there's a reason why Stephanie McMahon hasn't wanted anything to do with him for years. She left the company because
or his son too. Like he wanted to bring him in.
Which I'm actually surprised that Triple H has stayed.
Keep talking. I'm going back into my smoking room.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to be the end of the show today.
False start. Offense. The entire offensive line.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Like some of the stuff the Sox have done.
I like some of the stuff the Sox have done too. I like
Maldonado. That Eric Feedy's interesting.
Yeah.
They got Brebby from San Francisco, which they signed for 1 year, and they don't think he's going to be their closer because that's not what people do. But anyway,
yeah. Isn't Montgomery going to be up all year this year?
He could be. I mean, he won the MVP of the Arizona Fall League. I don't know what you want to say about that, but does a lot of things well. I don't know where he fits, though, because I don't know if he's a starting shortstop in this league. He's a little tall. And yes, one of the best shortstops ever was about as tall as him, Cal Ripken. But I don't know if he has the ability to be a shortstop like that at the major league level right now, and they'd want to throw him into that.
Yeah. Brandon Crawford's still out there. He's 37 years old. Would you like to take a flyer on a guy who's like Brandon Crawford? You know, if Colson Montgomery isn't a guy you feel can be your everyday guy, why not bring up a guy who can be, a stopgap shortstop?
Stay off the weed.
What's wrong with Brandon Crawford? What's wrong with Brandon Crawford? He's a guy who could hit 260, 270 for you guys, and he'd play a solid shortstop.
How much steroids is he on?
He's not. I mean, he might be on steroids. You better hope he's on steroids, but he's still a solid shortstop, solid defensive shortstop. He's a lefty, and he could probably hit 260, 270. I mean, what else? I mean, other than that, are you just running it back? What about Didi Gregorius? I'm just looking at shortstops that are still available on the free agent market. Didi Gregorius is still out there. Adalberto Mondesi. They love Kansas City players.
No, I'm more worried about right field at this point. I don't want to run it back with Oscar Colas again.
You're out on Oscar Colas already?
I mean, last year he just looked really bad. And it's hard for me to think that he's just going to turn it all around. Has it happened before? Yeah. Not a lot of people playing.
Will Myers and Randall Grichuk are still out there for right fielders. Jesse Winker out there for right fielders.
You have no idea who Jesse Winker is.
Yeah, I do.
No, that's not even how you pronounce his name.
Yes, it is. Jesse Winker. First of all, it's Winker. Second of all, he played with the Reds, started out his career with the Reds, and he moved on. And when I believe he went over to
Whit Merrifield 7 years late.
Whit Merrifield signed, didn't he? I believe Whit Merrifield already signed. Let's see if he's on this list. I don't even know if he's on this list. They'd have to trade for him then, right? Yeah, he's not even a free agent. Oh, yeah, he is. He is a free agent. He's down here. He's 35 years old now.
He ain't playing. Well, he only plays second, or he can play right, I guess. If you want,
he plays right field. He's listed as a right fielder in the free agent pool.
I'm not interested.
What about didn't they sign Brett Phillips?
Yeah, they did, but he's minor league contract.
He's still listed as an available free agent on this list.
They don't even know that the Sox acquired him.
No, well, maybe he hasn't been finalized. Maybe he hasn't actually signed yet.
Yeah. They just said he did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What about Adam Engel? He's only 32.
No,
Yeah, why not?
Adam Engel sucks.
What about Cole Calhoun, a lefty?
No, he's like 95
Angels.
years old. He's older than me.
No, he's not.
He's pretty old.
He's 36.
36. In baseball years, that's like 95.
I'm just throwing names out. I'm looking at who's out there. Jesse Winker. I mean, well, he's more of a DH. You guys already have enough DHs over there on the south side.
Like 10 DHs. You want a DH?
Yeah. What about Randall Grichuk?
DH.
No, you don't like Randall Grichuk? He's 32. I'm just looking at serviceable right field. There's not a whole lot available for right fielders in the free agent market.
There isn't. They go pretty fast.
Or do you want any of those guys, or do you want to run it back one more time and
with Oscar
and give Oscar Colas a chance?
I'd rather watch an old Oscar De La Hoya fight. Where it's all defense and it's not good at all, and it's a 12-round fight. That's a decision. I mean, Jeremiah, if you only needed a DH and a catcher, we're stacked. Great. I mean, right field's been their problem forever.
Yeah,
forever. I mean, they've tried to run guys out there every year on 1-year deals. You just can't do that in right field because they don't want to pay the money. You got to eventually pay money. I mean, Tezar Hernandez.
What if you go steal Cody Bellinger from the Cubs? You would be so happy.
$5 million and a nice Casio watch.
You would be so happy.
See, here's the thing with the Cubs. They're fucking printing money over there. They should just give him what he fucking wants. Who gives a fuck at this point? You're in contention.
What about Jorge Soler?
Soler's not out there, is he?
Yeah, yes. He's a free agent. Yeah, he's listed as a DH though in free agency, but he is out there.
He can play the field a little bit. Probably just another player.
He had a great year. He had a great year with Miami last year.
He did. And turned out to be an okay player. But if they don't see him as a right fielder,
would you want him over Oscar Colas?
I don't know how well he can play right field, but I think
the reason why they moved him to DH because he's got the same problem your other right fielder has.
Too many text messages with Vince McMahon.
Thanks, Cubs. Remember when Benetti did that? Thanks, Cubs, after he hit the walk-off?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And then he got injured after that, and you're like, thanks, Cubs. Still got Dylan Cease in that trade, though. Yeah. Still got Dylan Cease in that trade. Speaking of the White Sox additions, what about the additions to their announced team?
No comment. I don't know the guy.
He's terrible.
You say he's boring. He's terrible. I don't know.
You're gonna call me by the second game of spring training and be like, this guy is awful.
TV is like tits on a bowl. Like it doesn't really. I mean, I'd rather have the color guy be good on TV. Explain to me what I just saw. But But
if the color guy can't strike a good conversation with his guy, the play-by-play guy, it's a problem.
We did that for fucking 8-9 years with Hawk
and you're gonna have Steve Stone talking to a 27-year-old conservative freaking announcer. It's gonna be pretty brutal.
He's 39.
Yeah, well, whatever. Same difference.
No, it's not the same. He's believe me, I know the difference between 27.
He's a very bland. Trust me when I'm. You're gonna hear it yourself, and I give it to maybe the third or fourth game of spring training before you call me and you're like, yeah, you were right. This guy's terrible.
I'm not gonna do that. I gotta give this guy a shot. He's like the next president. I'll give him 100 days.
He's yeah. You're gonna give him 100 days of wanting to poke your fucking eardrums out. I give it to maybe I'll say by the start of the regular season you'll be watching the games on mute with the radio playing. He's terrible. And not only that, but he's also taken over for Benetti.
Len Casper and DJ.
Len Casper's
I love
fantastic.
Benetti. I did love Benetti, but again, he's not fantastic. But again,
Len Casper is a fantastic announcer. What are you, out of your mind?
There we go. Yeah, it's kind of like saying that Wrigley has a bunch of parking.
Dude, Len Casper is a fantastic play-by-play guy. You're out of your mind.
I don't think he's fantastic. No, I think he's good.
Wow.
But him with DJ, it just does not work on the radio.
Well, do you think DJ is a good color guy?
No, I don't.
No. There you go. I mean, DJ's always been the problem.
He seems like a pretty good guy.
But he's always been the problem on the radio broadcast. Has been DJ. He's terrible.
That's tough. Play-by-play guy means more on radio. On TV, not as much. I did like Benetti, but Stone is still the talent.
Wish I could know. I don't get it.
Jeremiah's getting drunk. Maybe Jeremiah has a bad back.
Jeremiah, are you sitting in your bath again, falling asleep on candles? Hey, getting high off the scents of the candles? Oh, I can't watch baseball here, he says.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you in one of those blacked out markets?
Central Indiana. Go baseball.
Dude,
Market
it's so stupid.
Market your sport.
They're supposed to be doing away with that in the next year or two. Supposedly, they're going to be doing away with the
years.
It's dumb. That's rough, man. I would flip out.
You can watch the Vince McMahon sword fight.
So wait, you're in Central Indiana. You're blacked out from White Sox games, or you're blacked out from all baseball games? Like you say, you can't watch baseball here, or you just can't watch the Sox, because you should be. I would assume like the Reds or something would be like the local team.
The Reds.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The Reds. They got a good team out there.
They do have a really good young team.
They have a good young
that
team
will never win more than 82 games because their ownership's going to sell off all their good players in about a year and a half. They're going to trade everybody because that's what the Reds do.
Yeah. That's a tough watch there. It's a tough team to watch. Them in Pittsburgh. Are we going to go get back to Vince McMahon or what?
No.
I don't have any of it up. I think we went through all the text messages. I'm pretty sure.
I think if you wait a couple more weeks, Doubting Thomas, you'll probably get the video.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more.
My guess is the video will be released if he doesn't pay soon. Unbelievable.
Does look like Telemundo. Next stop.
Oh, God. All right, man. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get out of here. Guys, it's been fun. We've talked about a lot of stuff today. We talked Bears. We talked Super Bowl coming up. We talked Vince McMahon in his Black Cox infatuation. We talked about a lot of stuff, but I want to leave you guys with this.
Hey, Chicago. What do you say? Cubs gonna win today.
Liar! Liar!
Take that, Dave Lauren. Till next time, same bat time, same bat channel. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors.